Hello, and thank you for watching and listening to another episode of the Podacity with Keita Rose. Here we dare to use our voices, have the audacity to own who we are, and vow, raise up your roses, we vow to never stop, never shrink, and most importantly,
Never! Shut up. It's just not gonna happen.
people be like, God, I hate that Keita girl. And every time somebody tells me to shut up,
I just wanna talk a little louder!
like, share, subscribe, talk in my comments, tell me how you really feel. Hit that bell notification so I can pop up on your timeline. And let's get into this Ayesha Curry situation, because I wish the discourse around Ayesha would just halt, would cease, would stop. Because Ayesha don't be saying anything wrong, yet the internet is in a frenzy. So Ayesha gets interviewed on Call Her Daddy, and Ayesha opens up about motherhood and being a wife and, all things woman, all things that you'd expect from somebody who is married, who has lived, who has experiences. And every time Ayesha opens up on one of these podcasts, people rip her the apart, and I do not understand why. So I'm looking and I'm trying to find out what she said that was so wrong. This is what she said that has everybody in a frenzy.
Did you feel like you had to pick between your career and your relationship at that point?
Yes, to an extent. That was never presented in front of me that way. It just kind of had to be that way.
So let's break down a couple of truths that nobody wants to hear. Number one, being a wife and being a mother is extremely difficult, all within itself. Being a wife is a full-time job. Being a mother is a full-time job. You compare the two and you have two jobs. So adding a career on top of that is near impossible. I know many of women make it work, but they're not being honest a lot of times about how they feel. They're not being honest about how unsatisfying sometimes it gets. And it's because when you do speak out and you are honest, everyone gets mad at you. I've seen so many stupid comments.
Nobody even told her to get married. Did Steph put a gun to her head?
Are you an idiot? The answer is yes. Don't think too hard. Let me go ahead and give that answer to you. First of all, you don't know what something is going to be like until you do it. Do you not like your job? Did you find out that your job was really difficult? You mean the interviewer didn't tell you all the bad things about the job or all the unsatisfying things about the job when you were at the interview? You mean the interviewer didn't tell you that they'd ask you for overtime and they'd make you do the job of several other employees but only pay you for one job? They didn't tell you that they were going to deny your PTO and that after years of hard work, they were only going to give you a pizza party in celebration? They didn't tell you that at the interview? You had to get the job and experience it first? I should... Uh-oh. Calm down, Keita. Calm down. Okay. I should slap some of you. It doesn't even make sense. She said that she always thought she'd be a career woman.
I thought I was going to be career girl, and that's it.
Because there's a lot of women nowadays that are very career driven. And what's funny about this is you'll see all these trad wives, these traditional wives that make trad wife content, and all these really conservative women say that these modern women are terrible because these modern women don't want to be wives, or these modern women don't stay at home and cook and take care of their husbands and nurture the kids, and they want to go out and they want to get jobs and they want to have careers. But those same women are speaking on their podcasts, are speaking on their platforms, are getting money from speaking. If you were really a traditional woman, if you really believe that the man is the head of the house and he leads and you're not to have a voice and you're not to have any opinions and you are to let this man lead and you are to be at home cooking and cleaning and folding clothes and scraping the shit off of his dirty drawers, if that's what you really believed, you would get off of your platform. You would get off of your platform. I cannot stand people that quote unquote hate feminism, but benefit from feminism every single day. Feminist, modern women that decided that they wanted to have autonomy over themselves, that decided that they wanted to have agency over themselves, are the reason why we're able to speak. Women that literally fought and were beaten and probably even worse, right? For wanting to step up and say, no, I don't need to have a man just to buy a house. I tell this story all the time. I was so shocked when I went to go buy my house, second house, and the contract was like unwed in big words, like unwed. And I'm like, these contracts are from 1940. It's like, okay, now you do make enough money and you do have good credit. And so you meet all of the qualifications to buy a house, but I do need to let you know that you're not married. Yeah, go ahead and give me the house. I'm going to pay for it. Like, I can afford it. And on top of that, the credit's good. What is the problem? It's because back in the day, you couldn't have a house without a man. Back in the day, you couldn't have a voice without a man. Back in the day, you had to ask your husband for an allowance before you could buy a dress. And if he didn't think that you deserved a dress that week, then you didn't get it. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent.
I have got to get this out.
I'm sorry, but Charlie Kirk's wife, right? He spent his whole political career talking about how women were incompetent, women needed to be at home having as many babies as possible, as young as possible, which is a manipulation tactic because you're not even in your right mind until after 25.
I think that we've gone wrong here, that women should prioritize family and children way above career, that they should try to find their husband before they're 25.
He said that women under 25 should have as much babies as possible.
Women need to be very clear that if you do not have children before the age of 30, there's only a 50% chance that you will have children. That's a fact.
If you don't understand by now that that is a manipulation tactic to keep you stuck, right? That having a baby will sit your down, not just for 9 years, but in some cases, 18 years, some cases, 20 years. This is the truth that they don't want you to hear. Some women will never get their body back. A lot of women don't have that bounce back. Right? Which is why people say it's kind of toxic for celebrities to be like, look, I just had a baby, but look at my bounce back, especially if you have access to surgery and different things like that. You'll never get your body back. Sometimes your hormones, really all the time, your hormones will up. You'll be hot, irritable, sad, depressed. No one talks about postpartum. You know, people talk about it very surface level. Yeah, you know, I dealt with postpartum. Or my wife got postpartum. You don't understand waking up every day wanting to die, do you? Can I say that on this platform? You don't understand waking up and feeling so down and so gloom. It's because of your hormones. It's because of the chemical imbalance in your brain because you're growing a human being that's literally sucking all of your nutrients out of you. Women lose their hair during pregnancy. Women lose their teeth during pregnancy. And people sit up here and they act like it's just nothing. And you know why? It's because women aren't honest about it. It's because women say things like,
having a baby was the best thing that happened to me. It gave me all my purpose. And I just love Junior. I love Junior. That's the only thing I want to be as a mom.
You can love being a mom. That has nothing to do with who you are as a person. The problem is that women, and I've been included in this as well, will assume an identity around our husbands, will assume an identity around our kids, and that's who we become. I'm Jeff's wife. I'm Thomas's wife. Okay, but like, who are you? Jeff's wife? Okay. What do you like to do?
I like to do whatever Jeff wants to do.
You see that shit on Instagram all the time. Jadavius' mama and Thomas's wife. Okay, but
Who are you? Outside of them, who are you?
because I'm telling you right now, your husband isn't introducing himself as, I'm such and such as husband. I'm such and such as husband. I only do what such and such likes. They're not doing it. Right? And men that do that, people that do enter in and assume an identity around another person ends up being very, very resentful. Because if you get left, if this person dies, you'll find that you are completely and totally lost. You didn't grow a community. You didn't have friends. There are so many women, and I was just like this. When I was married, I was just like this. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking but I'm telling you the real because I was just like this. I don't need to go anywhere because I need to cook and I need to clean and I need to go to Home Goods and I need to pick up some decorations because it's about to be fall and I don't want to go out and I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that because I have a family. I have a family and that's beautiful. And the first couple years, that is amazing. But you know what? When you start to realize, like, I didn't grow a community of friends. I don't have any hobbies. I don't have anything that I do that's just for me. I didn't start a business. I didn't do anything. I just curated my whole life around these people. Then you're like, oh, I don't actually know who I am. And so when something happens, like your kids grow and go off to college, your husband leaves you, you're left with only a piece of yourself. And now you have to spend years building yourself back up. And now you have to spend years trying to find out who you are. So Ayesha says that she never thought she would be a wife, but she became a wife. Ayesha says that she didn't know Steph Curry was going to actually be Steph Curry because when she met him, right, he was going to be a high school basketball coach.
Was he the basketball guy in high school or no?
Apparently he was, but I genuinely didn't pay attention to that.
Again, everybody talking about, girl, you with Steph Curry.
Girl, this is Steph Curry.
Okay, You know him as Steph Curry. She met this man when they were very young. Before he was Steph Curry, he was Stephen. Are you okay? A lot of people feel that, right? They get with somebody before they get big and famous, and now they have to adopt a lifestyle. She didn't know that Steph was gonna be who Steph was. He didn't probably know it. He did what everybody does, stayed focused, jumped on the opportunity, worked really hard, and then blew up. Good for him. Ayesha says that they got married and had a baby right after. And that's exactly what I did, right after, because that's the natural progression of things.
After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly.
A lot of women talk about being married single mothers because they're married, but I'm assuming the whole responsibility. And on top of that, I still have to work. And a lot of people are like, well, Ayesha Curry doesn't have to work. Okay, but you have to understand that there is a very real fear that women have, a very real concern and very valid concern that women have of, I better get my own stuff, especially when you look at all these situations in marriages of these celebrities where people have broken up and said, well, I want everything that I ever gave you. People act very dense when it comes to marriages and everything, all things relationships. And I had to really realize that relationships are very hard for a lot of people to understand. How you love somebody, how you show up for somebody, how you respect somebody, how you're willing to compromise with somebody when you're about to get married or you're in that honeymoon phase, and versus when y'all are divorced or about to get divorced are two different things. There's a thin line between love and hate, and people need to realize that. Yes, I love you. We've spent this much time together. We have all of this. But when it comes to, you know what, we're not working well together, you did something that really hurt me, or whatever reasoning somebody has to want to end a relationship, they no longer feel that love for a person. Yeah, once you love somebody, you always love somebody, right? I have love for you, but the things that I was willing to put up with, the things that I was willing to do for you, the things that I was willing to overlook, I'm no longer willing to overlook. That's probably why we're getting a divorce. You have a situation like with Offset, who cheated the whole relationship, but now towards the end of it says, I want alimony. I'm going to take you for everything you got. Look at Halle Berry. I want alimony. I'm going to take you for everything you got. And what we're seeing is more and more women are coming out and being the victims of, I didn't really put in anything in this marriage, but I don't want to leave this marriage with nothing. So I'm going to ask you for everything. Okay. So yes, take your money and pour into the household, but also take a little bit and put it in your savings account.
Stash a little bit in your
Because you don't know what's gonna happen. Nobody does. And people are so quick to talk about relationships like, well, you shouldn't be thinking about divorce, but when you get into a car, you don't think about a car accident, yet you still have preventative measures. You still take preventative measures by paying your car insurance. So that's stupid. Get that out the way. Smack that logic out the way. That's dumb. You do need to protect yourself. Look at some of these thumbnails. Ayesha says she can't stand Steph. Ayesha says she hates being married. That she didn't have time to think, and it happened quickly, and she loves being a mom, and she loves her husband. She just had to post on Instagram, I always wanted to marry a bourbon man, right? So she's promoting her bourbon. So while we're all talking, she's promoting and trying to get some money for her and her damn family, as she should. Women are allowed to say that marriage is hard. Women are allowed to say that sometimes marriage is unsatisfying. When Michelle Obama said that for 30 years, she's been married to Barack Obama, and for 10 of those 30 years, she hated that man, people tore her down, called her everything but a child of God. Women are allowed to say what it really is, because men do it all the time. Oh, I hate my wife. Oh, I'm drinking because I got to go home to the old ball and chain. Men have no problem discussing how unsatisfied they are in a marriage. Women are allowed to say that marriage is difficult because it is. You know, this question always comes up. Why do people break up after the baby? It's because what we're seeing on Instagram is all that cute oh, the baby has matching booties. The baby has Jordan booties from Burlington. Okay. They love going to Burlington and getting that matching baby booty set, right? But when it comes to the baby's crying at 2 a.m. and you promised that you would wake up and I'm tired and I have to go to work too. Or, hey, I don't really feel comfortable with my body anymore. And it's been years since you've complimented me. I mean, you don't take me on dates anymore. You don't tell me that I'm pretty. People tore up Ayesha for being on the Red Table Talk, and she said that, you know, she doesn't get male attention. People didn't like that. Why do you need male attention?
Something that really bothers me and, like, honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like, there are all these women, like, throwing themselves. But me, like, the past 10 years, like, I don't have any of that. Like, I have zero, it sounds weird, but like male attention.
The same reason why married men go to the bar, or the same reason why married men hop in DMs and because they want to see if they got it. You know, once you get with somebody, you don't lose who you are as a person. Everybody wants a compliment nowadays. Even I go to the gas station and have a crackhead say,
Little mama, you think this can have $1? I haven't eaten today.
and even if I'm in a relationship, I might be like, okay, well, here's $1. You know, no, you can't have my number. No, we're not gonna flirt. No, we're not gonna be together, but I'm glad you see what I see.
Hello, somebody. Hello? Are you guys listening to me?
I'm glad you see what I see. Period, point blank. When men go out to the bar and women exchange looks with them like, okay, I see you. It feels good. No, they don't have to pursue anything with that woman, but it feels good. And she was saying that, you know, no one really looks at me. Ayesha got married young, which is why I would tell every woman,
Every woman!
do not get married in your 20s. You can be in a long-term relationship. Do not let society sit up here and tell you if you've been in a 2-year relationship or a 3-year relationship, then that man is wasting your time. Me and this man are getting to know each other.
It don't take no 3 years to get to know each other.
Yes, it does, actually. Actually, it takes years to get to know somebody. How many times have you met somebody and thought you absolutely knew them, and then years went by and and their mask unraveled and you said, oh. And by the end of that relationship or by the end of that friendship, you said, this is who you really are. People do well at masking who they are. People mask for years. There's people married to serial killers that absolutely have no idea what they're doing on a Tuesday night and won't find out until about 10 years later. Miss me with that of it doesn't take that long to meet and to get to know somebody. Yes, it does. Do not let nobody that's probably unhappy with their marriage tell you when you should be married. If you want to stay in a relationship for 5 years and then get married, do it. If you want to be married for 6 years and then have a baby, do it. Stop allowing people to sit up here and tell you that you should be married or that you should have a baby. Because these same people aren't going to answer the phone when you're having marriage problems, when you're sitting up there crying because your husband has hurt your feelings, or as a man, when your wife doesn't understand how hard it is to be a provider, how hard it is to provide for a full family. Don't let nobody sit up here and tell you nothing, because they don't know nothing. People will say, have a baby, have a baby, have a baby. I want to be a grandma. I want to be an auntie. I want to do all this. And as soon as you have a baby and the baby is sick and you can't get to work, or as soon as you can't afford daycare because both of your incomes combined can't afford $1,200 a month, as soon as something like this happens, they're nowhere to be found. Well, you know, grandma got a life too, baby. Auntie got a life too. Don't let nobody make you feel bad because you're not married, make you feel bad because you don't have a baby. Them same people gonna look at you crazy when you ask for help. Ayesha didn't say anything wrong, and more women need to step up and be honest. This is hard. I didn't feel like myself. I lost my teeth. I lost weight. After I had my baby, postpartum almost made me get a divorce. My husband, men don't talk about how hard it is to be and support a woman that's going through postpartum. That must be hard. Men don't talk about how hard it is to be providers, how hard it is to provide for a family. And if you lose your job, how you feel lesser than a man, even if your wife is being supportive. People need to start coming out and telling the truth. Because what happens is everybody says all this is rainbows and ponies. And then when you get into it and you realize that all this is not rainbows and ponies, then you're like, oh, something must be wrong with me. No, people are lying. People are lying. When I was first getting into this content creation thing, I used to see all these women getting flown out and doing all this stuff. And I used to be like, wow, it must be because they're just extra pretty. They just must be wonderful women. And then I started hanging with them and I'm like, oh, you're selling coochie. Oh, no, that's not for me. You don't know the real about anybody's life until you meet them and know them and get to know them. And yes, sometimes it takes years. Ayesha Curry was honest. And I'm glad she was. Michelle Obama was honest. And I'm glad she is. And I hope she keeps ruffling y'all feathers. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this episode up. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments, and until next time, I will freaking holla. Ugh.